Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2 CD collection. You can find a link in the video description containing the entire directory structure of this archive. It's the 21st week of the show, and this is what our dig team's got for us today. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply head on over to the Patreon page linked in the video description. Now without further ado, let's begin. First up, new digger Yarmo Rontas dug up DOSGAMES /arcade /CRAZYCAR. So apparently before there was crazy taxis, there was crazy cars. Or something like that. Well, we got a few exe files here. We also got a runme.bat and a runme.com. Bringing you quality cracks. Okay, so it looks like we might actually have some kind of wares here. Which, as I said, this disc had a bunch of them. 101 megabyte. Yeah, okay, so actually, how do I run this game then? Well, it seems to run menu first, then CC2 EGA. So let's actually try that. Well, let's see. So Crazy Cars 2, cracked by, okay, yeah, so this is definitely from some, oh right, it doesn't run the CC2 by itself. CC2 EGA, that was it. Yeah, Titus. I had a feeling that when I saw the Titus files in the directory there. Crazy Cars 2, so this was actual commercial software that's apparently been pirated. So, whoa. Am I actually playing right now? Yeah, I am. That was weird. So this is clearly an Outrun ripoff. Oh wow, these controls are terrible. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the controls are acceleration based, which means if you want to turn right, you tap the right arrow, the amount you want to turn right by, and then it stays turning that much to the right until you go the opposite way. Like, I mean, I know there are games that use controls like that work out pretty well, like Magic Carpet is like that, but then Magic Carpet works because you're not trying to dodge things in that game. I mean, if you hit stuff in Magic Carpet, it does not affect your progress through the game, but yeah, this is really hard to control. How do I go up? Okay, there you go. Whoa, now it's even harder to control. I mean, yeah, it looks easy, but it's... I'm barely touching the keys when I go flying like that. Seriously. I can't... I am not touching anything right now. Okay? Hands were clear of the keyboard. Not touching anything. Okay? It's serious. These controls are just so bad. They really are. Like, maybe I should have been playing with them. Actually, you know what? Let's actually try that. Just for sake of argument, let's actually try playing this game with the mouse. Because that was an option. Return for mouse control. Oh god, it's even worse! It's even worse! Oh my goodness. It's even worse. Okay, so I just have to move the mouse like a fraction of a millimeter and I go flying. Wow. How do you mess up the controls for an Outrun clone of all things? I'm not even... it's not like I'm trying to, like, sensationalize how bad the controls are. They really are this finicky. This is borderline unplayable. No wonder this game got pirated. Nobody wanted to pay money for it. And it's like the only cars you have to dodge on the road are these green police vehicles. And that's it, there's like nothing else on the road. Well, okay, there's barricades. This is so bad. It really is. And how was I supposed to dodge that at the end there? Look at that. Okay, you have to move the mouse to select your letters. I'm going to put it on the A. I am going to move the mouse literally 1 centimeter. Now, you want to know what the worst part is? You can't even use the keyboard to type in your name. I mean, excuse the train running by, but this is a PC game where you can't use the keyboard to type in your name when you have mouse control active. You have to use the mouse to cycle letters. And you have to do it up and down as well. And given how finicky this is so bad. I don't even want to try to put my name in. This is so hard to control. So yeah, CRAZYCARS 2. About the only thing crazy about it is the fact that the controls are incredibly finicky. Well, not finicky is the wrong word. Incredibly touchy. So, like, I mean, the game looks decent, but just no. Next up, Pixel Diva dug up DOSGAMES /adventure /MYTHMAST. I'm gonna guess some kind of game called MYTHMASTERS? Maybe? Oh. MM1, so probably the Shareware version of something, I'm guessing. Copyright 1991, Carol Stanley. Hit enter to start the game, escape, return to DOS, any other key to run the setup. You want to use a joystick or keyboard? We'll choose keyboard. You have chosen the keyboard. To change the joystick, okay. Keyboard is control device. Above data can be used to check for file corruption. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. We seem to have... Well, aside from the fact that ice running slow, but we seem to have a Sierra AGI clone going on here. How do I stop moving? So, first thing wrong right off the bat is that you have to stop moving by pressing the direction you're already moving in. And Sierra titles, you could actually stop moving just by pushing 5 on the numeric keypad. Well, let's see how good the text parser is. This is a very old brick wall. There is an opening in the wall. Look at man. You can tell from his clothes that he's a woodcutter. Okie dokie. So, talk to woodcutter. You freaking serious? You can't have a conversation from like a foot away from somebody? Ugh. There. Happy? I can't move any closer than that. Oh. Oh, the F3 key does not repeat commands. It's F2. Okay, if you're going to do any kind of clone, this is advice for anyone. If you're going to do any kind of clone of any kind of game, do not change the keyboard layout. F3 has historically been the repeat last command button for DOS. And when you load up a Sierra AGI game, F3 does the same thing. It repeats the last command you typed in. This game decided to push it to F2 instead of F3. You don't do that, because that just messes people up. At least tab is still the inventory. MYTHMASTER's carrying nothing. Okay. Talk to woodcutter. Oh, right, it was the F2 key. The woodcutter tells you that he's in a hurry to leave the kingdom. His wife has disappeared and he's afraid to stay, which is precisely why I can't do anything while he's still walking off screen. And then it buffered all the keys I pressed. Is there a way to make this run faster? Because this guy runs so slow. F7 speed adjustment. Got it. Hero is currently traveling at normal pace. We'll try fast-paced. That's better. I prefer faster than that, but I don't think I'm going to get it. So far, this is actually pretty interesting. Like, I mean, the graphics aren't that bad. Kind of, not a lot of polish in terms of, like, the UI or anything. But, you know, that's forgivable for the rest of it, really. Like, I mean, the Sierra AGI games didn't have anything special going on with the, with, like, the font or anything. Look at squirrel. The squirrel seems to be anxious about your presence. Perhaps it lives in the hole you see in his tree. Talk to squirrel. Squirrel is busy preparing for winter. So the reason I can't talk to the squirrel is because it's busy and not because it's a freaking squirrel? Okay then. Look at flowers. You see a very rare variety of blue rose growing here. Even more astonishing, you see a white rose. This means I have to pick the white rose, right? Get white rose. Are you serious? This is as close as I can get. That is the white rose. It won't let me... Maybe just get rose. You can't get the rose. What? Okay, so the text parser is understanding my command. It's just not giving me responses that I would have expected. Oh, we got a... Oh, it's one of those, like, houseboats or something? Look at house. You've seen some houseboats, but this is the nicest. The flowers are a beautiful touch. Well, let's go and knock on the... Oh. The moment you start typing, the gameplay stops. I'm kind of used to, like, in the old Sierra AGI games, being able to continue typing while I'm walking towards something. That way I have something to do. Knock on door. Okay, you knock on the door and get no response. Open door. That's not open. Open door. Interesting. And I got a turtle over here being all, like... Interesting. Talk to turtle. Turtles don't talk. At least not this one. Well, good to know. Take turtle. You can't get the turtle. Boo. Look at cupboard. Can't look at something that's not... Okay, so what are you going to call it? Look at shelves? Look around. Okay, so we've run into our first language snafu. Well, so far the game is not really being... It's not really being clear if I'm doing things wrong or not. Serving bowl sitting on the table. Can I take the bowl? Can I take anything? Okay, I finally have something in my inventory. Look at bowl. Do they have the little pictures? They have the little pictures. There's a walnut in the bowl. Take walnut. Okay, so I have a bowl and a walnut. Look at bowl. Looks normal. Look at walnut. If it looks like a walnut, it must be a walnut. Right? Open walnut. Because in the original King's Quest, it was solid gold inside. Darn it. Or hang on, maybe I can give the walnut to the squirrel. Give walnut to squirrel. I suddenly forgot how to type in squirrel. Not close enough, okay. Whoops, I hit F3 again. You throw the walnut to the squirrel. In return, the squirrel gives you a comb. That's one smart squirrel. Look at comb. It's a solid gold comb! Oh, hell yeah. Just sell that for money. Maybe. Well, what is the currency in this game? Who knows? It's a rather nice looking brick house. Is there people in this one? Knock. You can't do that during this... What? But I knocked on the other door. Well, once again, a house with nobody inside except an animal. Anyone else think that this kind of looks like almost a reversal of the witch's house from King's Quest 1? So here's what I'm getting so far from this, is the game's interpreter. It's done fairly well, but the responses that it gives you don't really help you that much. Like, I mean... Okay, so, like, I mean, I just typed in, look at table. So it told me about the toad sitting on the table in the other room when I'm next to another table which has this mysterious green and yellow thing on it, and I have no idea what that is. So that's what I'm getting at here, is like, the game's interpreter seems programmed well enough, it's just not giving me responses that help me identify, like, what it is I'm looking at or doing. You know, there's a lot of similarities here to King's Quest. Like, I mean, even this particular pond looks like it was ripped right out of King's Quest. You wonder how deep the pond is. Well, I know one way to find out. We're shallow enough to walk in. Ooh, I can climb this. I'm gonna have some hardcore climbing action. I'm gonna fall to our death or something. Actually, it's blocking me. So no falling to our death. Oh yeah, just to have a pleasant stroll by some lava. Look at lava. Lava is fresh and it smells of sulfur, and it's probably so hot that if I was this close to it for real, my flesh would melt off. That is oh! You've just been vaporized. It's interesting that the game is very selective about where its solid walls are. I wasn't able to walk off the top, but when I tried to walk down, to prove that the game was blocking me off, it, well, sent me to my death. Okay then. So that's MYTHMAST. Okay, I just crashed it. Or locked it up or something. Apparently it didn't like me trying to restore a game when there weren't any present after dying. So I actually have the emulation paused right now on the title screen because it disappears very quickly. But it looks like this was made entirely by one person. Which, you know, for a game like this in 91, it's like, it's not bad. Like, I mean, there were definitely more advanced adventure games by that point in time. But if this was made entirely by one person, then that's actually pretty impressive. There's a file for, because apparently the game's been distributed as Shareware and that it has a registration attached to it or something. The file's really big, so I can't really get it on screen, but it seems to me like this would have been a fun thing. Probably had difficulty distributing it because I never heard of this, but let me know if you guys know much about this, like how big the distribution was, how many people know about it, like, give me some extra info if you know anything, but I'd say if you can find this online, this is definitely worth checking out. Now before we get to our final dig, we actually had a failed team dig. Scott Percival and Matthew Belshon tried to dig up WINGAMES /arcade2 /B Barney. Unfortunately, this failed in one of the most annoying ways possible for a Windows 3.1 title. That's not a good sign. Okay, so there's probably something missing that this game needs, like a DLL file for or something. Unfortunately, in the days of Windows 3.1, if a particular file is missing, it doesn't tell you what file is missing. So I can't just go and figure out, like, what it is I need, unfortunately. So, looks like a failed dig because I can't fix this. Not easily, anyways. However, Matthew Belshon and Scott Percival, neither of them have any more team digs lined up. So, since Scott Percival was next in line, he's the one who gets the dig today. And his dig was WINGAMES /GG /DINOSPEL. I'm gonna guess something to do with dinosaur spelling, maybe? I hate going to this folder, there's so much stuff in here. DINOSPEL. Oh, that's a lot of bitmap files. And some waves, so it looks like there might be some sound effects. Okay, so it is something called DinoSpell by Dynotech Software, made in 1994. Well, let's see how this game works. Let's back up here, and spell. Okay, seriously? Let's try running this setup and see what happens.
Dynotech Software.
So it has this little interesting intro tune that it plays briefly. Animation, sound, and music, we're all good there. New game. The Shareware version of DinoSpell is limited to 2 levels of play. And some features such as music and graphics have been removed from this version of the game, yada yada. Okie dokie. Derek the Dinosaur would like to know your name. Please type your first name in the box below. How about if I just type my internet moniker? And difficulty level hard? Sure, because, well, spelling. How hard could it be? Oh, right. I still have to fix this whole MIDI thing. So, I'm guessing I play with the arrow keys. Yep. What? I didn't understand a word of that. Rex the Tyrannosaurus says, using the clue below, find the magic word hidden in the list to the right. When you find the word, spell it by typing each of its letters using the keyboard. Like that. Yay, I got food. And there's a tree here. Rex says to look at the words below and click on the correctly spelled word. It's like almost none of them. These are so obviously not spelled right. Like, I mean, it'd be better if it was like slight alterations as opposed to massive changes. Besides, I thought this was hard skill. That's one way to get past the tree that's blocking your path. So, like, I mean, is my goal to just get everything, or just get to that, whatever this is, or... Oh, we've also got special fruit showing up. So, this one's going to be Blast. Oh, it's just bonus points. Actually, 500 seems like a lot of points. I mean, I don't even have to look at all of the words, because I just have to see which word is right, and it's like, that's it. It's only missing one letter. Oh, this is a new one. Rex says, find the word shown below. Look up, down, left, and right. When you find the word, click on each one of its letters, starting with the first and ending with the last. Now, I find it interesting that it actually highlighted all of the S's in a slightly different color, because that's the first letter of the word. Okay, let's see what this thing is. Oh, it's just bonus points. And it looks like it was about to... It's going nuts with the MIDI stuff now. How about you just stop showing that warning? Well, this is actually a different kind of fruit right here. But same sort of story. Yeah, did you guys just hear that sound just now when the bonus item disappeared? Let me see if I can get that to play again. Actually, let's find out what happens if you click something that's wrong. It just stays there. Yeah, when you go back to it, you get a completely different question. I swear that sound is the same sound that's used in Tank Universal for particular effects that are in that game. Tank Universal, by the way, is like a Tron-inspired sort of tank game where you're also capture the flag style gameplay. I've covered it in a live stream. It's pretty neat, so anybody into that kind of stuff should give it a check. But let's actually see what happens when we clear the fruit from this board, because it seems like there was going to be a second level. Oh, and it actually tells me which word I missed. Oh, we got a different backdrop even, and wow, is that a lot of stuff on the playfield. This is kind of making me wondering what the difference between the skill levels even is. Also, I just realized that it's a dinosaur, not a dragon, that's breathing fire on those trees. Which doesn't quite make sense, but whatever. Yeah, the game's not getting any harder with the different levels, so let's just take a quick look here and see... Okay, so the skill level just affects how much stuff you gotta do to progress to each additional level. So, this is interesting. Because it's a different map. I would have expected the same map. Well, it's the same map there. So, normal? Okay. And normal again. Okay then, so it looks like there's different maps depending on the skill level. Well, let's actually just quickly check to see if the questions are any harder or easier. No, they're the same as always. So, all the skill level seems to do is affect how big the map is and how much stuff there is on it. But that's basically it. The goal of each level just seems to be to get all the stuff. So I guess overall, this game is actually pretty fun. Like, I mean, the questions are a little too easy, even on the hardest skill settings, because the skill setting doesn't have any effect on the kinds of questions asked. But there's like something of an enjoyable factor here. I think this is something that kids would actually potentially enjoy. Up to a point. The thing is, the repetition does set in pretty quickly, and the fact that it's the questions for me, like being an adult, aren't hard, but for a younger child still learning how to spell, that probably would factor in pretty well. But again, this is not really a spelling game. I mean, I know it says Dino Spell, but you're not really learning spelling here. Like, I mean, you're mostly just picking out words that are spelled right, adding the letters to words that already have letters in the right spots, or trying to pick the right spelled word from a list of words that are very blatantly spelled wrong. So, to that end, it doesn't really teach much in the way of spelling. But I guess in terms of a word-based game, like, I mean, I can see kids having fun with this when they're young and don't know how to spell perfectly. So yeah, this is definitely something for if you have any children of your own who wants to check this out or something, or I don't know. I'll just leave it that this is better than I thought it would be. Oh wow, I actually did try to leave the high score table for that CRAZYCARs game, and it not only crashed, but it actually took out DOSBox in the process. So, that's impressive.